Welcome to the Dump Him podcast, discussing all things modern day dating, learning to love yourself, and when you should just dump him, or her, or them. Hi guys, welcome back to the Dump Him podcast.
Hello everybody, I'm Kitty.
And I'm Francesca.
How are you doing, Franks?
I'm good, but more importantly, no one cares about how I'm doing. That's not interesting. I don't have anything interesting to say. Kitty, how are you doing?
Well, guys, I have a story for you all. We saw some friends, Franks and I, last weekend.
Yeah.
And two of the girls we were there with have both got their current boyfriends through Hinge. And we were talking about it, and I was just saying, you know what, it's just not really going very well. And they were like, well, how many dates have you been on in the last few months? And I was like, 2. And they were like, well, obviously that's why it's not going well. Like, you know, we were going on like 20 dates a month when
Which
they were like,
baffles me.
Very good effort.
I don't have that much small talk in me, but I mean, if you do, then good. It obviously works doing that, but
I mean, yeah. And also like the time, the money, the outfits.
Yeah, I've got like 3 date outfits in rotation. Like,
I already repeated the same one as well. So anyway, so I was like, okay, on reflection of this, I'm actually going to try a little bit harder. And, you know, and they were both saying the dates that they were least looking forward to were actually the ones that they ended up really enjoying and ended up being with. So just don't be like so strict basically on who you're swiping with. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to take a fresh leaf to this and give it a go. So I had some matches, and I had a date yesterday, which on paper looked like it was going to go great.
Ticked all the boxes, like investment banker, like, you know, views of Canary Wharf in his pictures. Like, it was so far up Kitty Street.
6'1".
Yeah.
Brunette.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything on paper. And rather unfortunately, it was probably one of the worst dates I've ever had.
Oh no.
There was just nothing there. No spark. We didn't have a flowing conversation. Like, he was a sweet guy, but like, I was trying to find out some of his hobbies and they were kind of questionable. I don't even think I told you this. Did I tell you this?
I think you did.
Okay. So anyway, he then leaves. Oh, bearing in mind, by the way, that he bought a bottle of wine over, and between the two of us, we only had half of it. So then he leaves, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We're not going to give up. So I went back on the apps, put some music on.
Finished the wine, most importantly.
Actually, by the end, I hadn't even finished it.
Really?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I was just like, you know, when you're buzzing.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what I was buzzing from because it wasn't the date. And then this guy messaged, who I hadn't even messaged that evening. He just popped up again, who happened to message at the same time whilst I was on the app, who did ghost me a month ago mid-conversation. So anyway, he comes back apologising and basically, you know, asks, what are you up to tonight? And I'm thinking, well, you know what? I've got my makeup on, I've got my outfit on, I'm feeling pretty good. Why don't we meet? But he said to meet. I just agreed to it. So he came over, and guys, on paper, didn't tick every box, right? But we got on so well. Like, the chat was flowing, it was funny. Like, I honestly, and I said to him, I met him and I felt like I'd known him forever. Like, it wasn't like meeting a stranger.
So cheesy.
It was a bit cheesy, isn't it? So anyway, yeah, we had a lovely night, and hopefully I will be seeing him again. I'd like to see him again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, that's great. I don't want to take away from that whole aspect of it, because that is, you know, really sweet and very exciting. The bit that is I think the most noteworthy that we should discuss is the fact that it was a very spontaneous last minute date at like 10 p.m. And for the listeners, for wider context around Kitty is normally in bed far before 10. Like her sleeping pattern is
Unconventional.
Unconventional. She's a kind of bed at 8:30, up at 5 kind of gal. So for her to even be responding to a guy's messages post 9 p.m, let alone inviting him to meet at like 10 o'clock at night. Was it 10:30?
No, surely.
I think there was.
He arrived beyond 10:30, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like 11:15 because I was still awake and I was like messaging you. And I remember watching it was definitely, I think he arrived at like 20 to 11, quarter to 11.
Guys, also for context, I'm the least spontaneous person you will ever meet in your life. If something is not planned in the diary, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So this was like, honestly, I was saying to Francesca, I was like, this isn't Kitty. Like, this is someone else. Someone else is me tonight because this is not me.
Yeah, we need to name your alter ego.
We do.
Mine's called Alex, just for anyone to know.
Alex,
I
okay.
planned that a while ago.
I'll have a thing, and if anyone else wants to name my alter ego, please write in your suggestions. That's perfectly fine. I'll take all options. Yeah. So you know what? I can't see myself being spontaneous like that again anytime soon. But it was a very nice experience and fun and something out of my comfort zone, ironically. So yeah, it was good. But guys, do you know what we've learned from COVID? It's just take every opportunity because you never know if it's gonna happen again.
I feel like sometimes you just need to let your hair down and like, we're never going to be this young and spontaneous and fun again. So like, it was out of character for you, especially even to be drinking at the moment because you're very
I'm not.
But yeah, I'm excited for you. But like, can I tell the story from my perspective as well?
Yes, go on.
So I was sat on my sofa watching a rom-com with like my first glass of wine out of the bottle. Like I was just sat there, I just eaten my dinner, and it was like 9 p.m. and I was having a conversation with a guy on Hinge, and he was like, "Oh, I'm out, like I'm in East London, whereabouts are you? Like, do you want to meet for a drink?" And I sat there and I was like, what would Kitty do? Because I feel like she'd make the right decision in this situation. And I was like, no, like we had like a meeting like to record the podcast, like this conversation scheduled in, because like for everyone's context, we do it like a busy, we schedule times and we do it officially. We don't just like jump on spontaneously. So I was like, no, we're recording the podcast at 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. This isn't a responsible thing to do. Kitty's going to be really annoyed if I'm late to that. So I'm going to like not. So I sent this guy this message being like, normally, that sounds really nice, but I've got a lot to do tomorrow. I've got to be up early. I'm really proud of myself. I was like, I made a good decision there. Like, this guy is good looking and I've just like, I've done what Kitty would do. So well done me. The next thing, I literally get a WhatsApp from Kitty being like, I think I'm gonna meet this guy. I think he's coming to like where I live. I was in shock. I was like, has Freaky Friday happened? Like, have we swapped?
This is what I'm saying. It wasn't me. It was someone else.
But I'm proud of you. I just found it so funny because normally in our friendship, I see myself as like the slightly reckless one who will do things that like aren't necessarily wise, and you're the sensible one. And I feel like last night we just flipped that on its head, and it was really nice to be me
on the other end of it.
Yeah, it was so nice. I then admittedly did like finish the bottle and stay up till like midnight listening to like 90s R&B, but
nice.
And then I fell asleep with my phone on the mattress next to me, and then was like waking up to Kitty's messages at 1 o'clock in the morning about her date. But like,
it was crazy.
YOLO.
I didn't even have dinner. Like,
oh my gosh,
I didn't even have the last meal I ate.
Are you hungover?
I've got a slight headache, but that's about it, actually. So given the circumstances, I'm feeling pretty good. I really thought I was going to be feeling rough.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm doing all right. And I honestly think it's like I could do with some food.
Yeah.
But I wasn't late for our meeting.
No, I was, admittedly.
Exactly.
That's the ironic thing. I was
I
fine
told
with
you,
it.
I'm back to myself again today.
Yeah, sorry. I needed tea and banana bread. But anyway,
How are you feeling?
I'm fine. I was like, there was a moment of concern at like midnight. I was like, am I going to feel this tomorrow? But I downed like 3 bottles of water before I went to sleep. So I feel fresh as a daisy today.
Do you know what? Everyone always says to do that. And one time I this is so bad. Went back with a guy after being at a club. I knew him really well, so it wasn't anything weird. But I was like, oh, I need to drink some water so I'm not hungover. So he went and got a jug of water, and I downed this jug of water. And then I had to run to the toilet to be sick because it all just came back up.
Oh
And
no.
I was like, well, that was a waste. And he came back in. He's like, where did all the water go? It's like, you don't
Back
want
down the
know.
loo.
He
That's
literally
so
went
funny.
in, out. So now every time people are like, oh, you just need to down water before you go to sleep. I'm like,
Oh, well, I didn't like down it. I just made an executive decision to like bit of wine in between sips of wine,
yeah, clever.
like half a bottle of water. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I
It
like
was,
that.
yeah, I was spacing it out.
That's a good shout.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, yeah, guys, this is probably the most spontaneous story you'll ever hear from me. So I hope there's no more, to be fair.
I don't know. I guess we'll see from you. Maybe this is a new Kitty.
Maybe this is fun Kitty coming back, because Kitty did get a bit boring. Well, she didn't get boring, she just got very sensible. I was very like life goal orientated as opposed to like fun orientated.
Yeah, but I don't think doing those things detracts from your life goal. I think you can still be like on the right track. I think like I'm really guilty of this as well. As soon as I have like a slightly silly drunken night or anything like that, I suddenly think, oh my God, I've let myself down and I don't have my shit together and I'm a mess. But actually you can do those things every so often and then like the next day you're still fine and you have your life together. Yeah. If that helps, if that makes you feel better.
No, exactly. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was meant to do work yesterday. I hardly did any work yesterday because I was really excited about the first date. I was like, oh, and it's just the irony, isn't it? Is actually that one that I was excited for went so badly. And this other guy who I'd forgotten even existed went really well. That's lovely. So anyway, guys, I'll keep you updated on if I see him again.
Yeah, we might have to introduce him. We might need to give him a name. Spontaneous date guy.
Spontaneous date guy.
Yeah,
I like it. That is him. But yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, so this week we thought we would discuss, because I think we both have some funny stories of this, and we've also asked for our listeners to submit some of their own, but we thought we'd talk about the most surprising things, good or bad, that someone has done while you're in a relationship with them. You know, when you're with someone and you think you know them, and then all of a sudden they do something, or you find out something they're doing, and you think, who the hell are you? Yes. We've all been there.
Yes.
Kitty, do you want to kick us off by telling us yours?
Right, I'll kick it off. I've been meaning to say this for a while, guys, this story.
I love this story.
Yeah, but do you know what? Is I knew the guy was listening at the beginning and I didn't want to give him the satisfaction that we were speaking about it. So I waited for a while. And then my mum reminded me of my mum reminded me of it the other day. And I was thinking, oh no, I'm actually forgetting it. So I said to Francesca, right, we must tell the story sooner rather than later before I forget.
Yeah.
So we start. This happened a few years ago now, but it was very funny and actually caused my breakup. So I was living with this guy with other people, but he was my boyfriend at the time. Mm-hmm. And I went to meet him at the tube station one day. And, backwards. So he said he had a friend at uni, brother, some distant connection, where basically if he paid him £100, then he could get him 10 free shirts from said company, global company.
Yeah, it's for anyone who knows it. I feel like you see them everywhere in London. It's like a respected, expensive shirt shop. I've never been in one. They sell
It's
I
like
presume
I think
pies
it's
and stuff.
a mid-range between like an M&S and a Savile Row.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of in that, so it's
Yeah.
it's sort of accessible for lots of city workers and general workers. There's just lots in the city.
Okay.
So anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, like, don't go giving some random guy £100. So that's a lot of money just to go and give to get free stuff from, and also it's not free because you're paying for it. So how does that work?
How much are the
Anyway,
shirts normally? What was that? So that
I think they're normally like
okay.
£40, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I go to meet him at the Tube after work one day, and I knew he'd been paid that day, and he came back with one of these bags, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet that like you treated yourself to a shirt. And he was like, oh no, I used one of these vouchers. And I was like, what do you mean voucher? And he said, oh, that guy from uni gave me a voucher to try out before I committed to the £100. And I'm like, what are you talking about with a voucher? Like, what is this? So basically, it's actually shocking. There's a guy who worked at the shop who, you know, like coffee cards where you stamp 9 because you bought 9, you get your 10th for free.
Yeah.
This guy was basically employed by the company, working at the shop, filling out the stamps at the till, and then selling on these cards so people could walk in and claim their 10th shirt for free. When they hadn't bought the other 9, he'd just filled in the stamps and he was taking the money. Right?
Oh my God.
I was like, hold on a minute here, like that's stealing, because
Yeah.
you know, this guy is taking the money that the company should be getting, and you haven't bought the other 9. The whole point about getting a 10th for free is that the cost is basically made up in the other 9 shirts.
Yeah.
So you're taking something that doesn't belong to you. You know, you're not paid for it. You've not been given
How
it.
much were they buying these like loyalty cards for? Like less than the cost of what a normal shirt would be, right?
Well, yeah, and I think if it was £100 for 10 free shirts, and he was basically getting £10 per card,
Right.
which
Okay.
when you think he's just stood there filling in with the little stamp, it's pretty profitable, really.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, I said, look, I morally and fundamentally do not believe in that. And, you know, he didn't really get it. He was, oh, it's such a big company, it won't make any difference. I said, that's not the point. Like,
Yeah.
the point is you're taking something, you're stealing something that doesn't belong to you. This guy's pocketing the money and the company's not getting the benefit, and you get a free shirt. That just doesn't sit right with me. And
I also don't think people realize, sorry, this is a side note because I've been reading about this
yeah.
recently, but how much shoplifting in general drives up the prices of products. Even in big shops, like big high street chains, because shoplifting is so prevalent, everything is just more expensive to cover the cost of it anyway, because people are going in every day, multiple times a day, and pocketing stuff. So I mean, I'm not saying you know, how could we like get rid of it altogether? And I'm not saying everything would be super cheap then, but I don't know. It's quite noticeable. Like
It's like I shoplifting. I mean, stealing in general, I just think is the lowest of the low.
yeah,
Like, it's not yours. Don't fucking take it. It's
yeah.
that simple. But anyway, some people are low. So anyway, so I'm like, look, if the police turn up at the door because you've been done for fraud or whatever, I don't want to stand there and pretend that I know nothing about it. So
Yeah.
if you do this again, I will be breaking up with you. So anyway, about a week and a half later, we're at an event. He's come up begrudgingly, might I add. He didn't want to be there. And we're sat at this hotel for breakfast. And it's me, him, another guy, and 2 Mexican guys who were fantastic.
Yeah.
And
If they're
anyway,
listening.
if they're listening, love you. And anyway, he turns to me and goes, oh, by the way, I've taken some more of those vouchers. Like, you've done what? He's like, yeah, I've taken some more, so I'm now going to sell them on. I was like, what? So anyway, I'm sat at this table at breakfast. Everyone's looking at me, and I'm just thinking, this is just the worst fucking thing. So we then have a 2-hour drive back to London. This is honestly the most awkward drive of my life. And he's like, oh, like, should we, like, do you want to stay together tonight? And I'm like, I just really want to stay in my own room. Like, because we lived in the same house, but we had 2 rooms. I was like, no, like, I really want to stay in my own room. And then he got annoyed because I want to stay in my own room. Anyway, guys, put bluntly, I stuck to my word and I broke up with him the next day.
That is hilarious.
Unbelievable. I mean,
It's just like, out of all of the things that someone could do in a relationship, to out themselves as a shoplifter, not really as expected. Also, like, was money that tight for him? Like, what was the, like, you know,
no,
get a job in a coffee shop, mate. You know,
he was tight-fisted. That was the problem. So if he could get something for free, he would.
I mean, it's one thing using this voucher, like, that's bad enough already, but then to be like, oh, I'm going to sell them on.
Honestly, but like, you could see these traits. Like, when I started thinking about it, there had been a time before this that we'd been in the supermarket and he was paying, but he'd only bought his phone, so with the payment system on his phone.
Yeah.
And it was like 30p over the limit. I think it was like £40 limit or £30 limit, whatever. It was like 30p over. So he was like, oh, I'll just take out one of the onions. So I said, okay, fine, like, we've got onions anyway. So took out one of the onions, removed it off the screen, so it went under. Then he put the onion back in the bag. And you know what? It's such a small thing, but the moral factor of it is he had no problem taking something that he hadn't paid for.
I've noticed a couple of guys do that though, like, because I've had times with like guys I'm dating where, admittedly, I think one we were quite drunk, but we'd like stopped at a supermarket to like get some stuff, like food on the way home. And then we came out and he was like, look what I stole. And it was like a chocolate bar. Like, it was so stupid.
Just pay for it.
But also, I was like, first of all, I was buying all these ingredients to cook you dinner anyway. So why couldn't you just put that in the basket?
God.
But also, like, why are you so proud of yourself for doing that? It's not big or clever.
It's like they got away with something that's like, you shouldn't have done.
But I wasn't even one of those kids that would like steal something from a shop or take pick and mix. I'm really scared of getting in trouble, to be honest. I'm like, I hate breaking rules. Really hate breaking rules in an embarrassing way, even as an adult. Too. But God, that's just so tragic. What?
It's just so embarrassing, isn't it? No.
I love that you stuck to your word though and still ended it.
Yeah, I mean, I still had to live there. That was not ideal. But like, I said I would break up with him if he did it again, and he did it again even worse. So that was that, really.
Sometimes you also just have to set the example, because if you had said, I'm going to break up with you if you do that again, and then hadn't,
exactly,
you look silly, because
what else can you do? He already cheated on me before this that I then found out after, so definitely was the right decision.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, madness, right?
Wow. Okay. We've got some submissions from our listeners as well.
Yes, I'm excited.
Okay, there's a couple of like really like quite like serious and sad ones.
Oh no. Okay.
Someone said, does cheating on me count?
Oh no.
Yeah. That, I mean, it does. Yeah.
Oh.
Quite a horrible surprise.
Yeah. That's quite a horrible surprise.
Sorry, I didn't know how to word that one. I was like, let me bring it back to the discussion, but
that's hilarious.
Someone said, dump me a week after I moved across the country to be at the same uni as him. Yikes.
A week after.
Oh God. Oh.
What?
Sorry.
What?
No, I just like, sorry that happened.
Oh, right. I thought you were saying sorry to me. I was like, what have you done?
No, I just didn't know what to say.
Oh.
What can you say to that?
I just feel bad for these people.
I think sometimes the most difficult thing is like someone just revealing themselves to be a complete and utter dick.
I think also, especially when you think you know someone so well, and then they do things and you're like, that's not how I knew you as a person. Like, how did you keep that a lie?
Yeah.
Oh, creeps me out a little bit, actually.
Yeah, like when you think they're a really good guy the whole time when you're dating them, and then when you break up, they turn into the literal devil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Familiar.
I mean, to be fair, in my heyday of dating and being young, because obviously it's not
really so old now. Yeah.
I definitely was pretty psycho at times. I'll be honest. Like now, I'm a lot more like, do you know what? You can just go. I just don't. I don't need that in my life. Whereas I feel like before, like I know we're saying the guys acted out like after we'd broken up with them, but I know I probably did exactly the same thing.
Oh, also, like, I really subjected some boyfriends to some stuff back in the day. Like, why have you liked that girl's picture? Or
No,
like
hold
checking
on.
this. What?
I feel like with something like that, it's not like liking the picture, but I feel like if you have a gut feeling
Yeah.
instance around the liking the picture scenario, probably the liking the picture is sort of the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. I was
Neither,
having
to
a
be
really
honest.
interesting chat the other day with a friend about female and male friendships when you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because this girl, she was saying, "Oh, I was meant to tell a good story." Yes, this was it. Okay, I'll tell that one after, but it's a good story. Same person.
Okay.
So she basically asked me, do you, if I have had a flirty past with some guys, nothing's happened, it's just been flirty,
Yeah.
and I've got a boyfriend now, and I still talk to them and meet up with them one-on-one, is that bad? And I said, well, from whose point of view? From from their point of view or for your boyfriend's point of view? And she was kind of like, oh, well, from both. And I said, well, from their point of view, fine, as long as they know you're in a relationship. But for the boyfriend's point of view, it was kind of like, although it seems harmless, how would you feel if your boyfriend was meeting up and texting people who you knew had had a flirty connection with in the past?
Yeah, 100%.
And it was like, I mean, I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable with that.
No.
Sorry, that was a side note. I just got distracted. But the good story, the nice story,
Okay.
was that so two girlfriends were in a restaurant the other day, and basically there was the general manager there.
Yeah.
Who was very good looking, sort of had a presence to him.
Yeah.
So one of the girls is like, oh, look, I'm going to go get you a pen and a paper, and I want you to go and give him your number. And this girl's like, I'm not fucking doing that. There's no way. And she's like, yes, you are. So she goes, she gives him the bit of paper. Anyway, he texts her. They went on a date. It went really well. They're going on another date.
Really?
How sweet is that?
That is really sweet.
I could never.
Is that a restaurant in London?
Yeah.
I went out for dinner once last year, and I thought one of the waiters was really good looking.
Ooh.
Didn't do anything about it because I'm a wuss, so that's great.
Is the thing. Yeah. We need to be more go-getting.
Yeah. I also gave my number to a bartender once a few years ago, and he never texted me.
Did he ask for it, or were you just giving it out?
I don't really remember. It was in my wild days. I have a feeling I was probably like, do you want my number? And I think he said yes. So I gave it to him, but I don't know.
That's fair.
Anywho.
Sorry, I massively went off on a tangent there.
No, it's all good. So surprises in relationships. Actually, to be honest, we haven't had any like nice surprises. I was expecting people to be like, oh, he got me. Actually, I've had fine, bought me flowers, whatever, plan nice dates. Yeah. Do
you know what? It got to the point where one of my boyfriends, I kept asking for flowers and he never fucking bought them for me. I eventually just went and bought them for him just to make a point.
Oh, wow.
Because it really annoyed me.
Admittedly, I did have an ex buy me flowers once, like just as a complete surprise, because we've been talking. Oh, because my mum used to buy me flowers quite frequently. Aww. And she just hadn't for a while. And I was like making a comment like, oh, brutal. My mum used to send me flowers every so often. Now she doesn't. She does now. She's picked it back up again. This was quite a few years ago. But yeah, then he like randomly sent me flowers.
That's sweet.
Yeah, but it was at school. So it was like, this is embarrassing.
Okay, and guys, none of you will know, so we'll explain. I was going to say for anyone who doesn't know, but the postal area in our school was basically where everyone lined up for lunch. Well,
Yeah.
actually any meal. So if you got post, everyone would know about it.
No, this was worse.
Oh,
Was
no.
worse. There was, so I think he sent them a second time, and that I'm pretty sure they weren't there. But the first time I was out like at sport or something in the afternoon, and I got a text from our matron. We went to boarding school, side note. A text from our matron being like, something came for you, like I've left it in your room. And I was like, what the hell? Like, because I didn't know that, I wasn't expecting it at all. And I went back in, and then she'd like this like bouquet of flowers had come, and she'd like left them on my bed, and then obviously I went downstairs later, and she's like, giving me the nod, and it was so embarrassing. Like, it was sweet at the time and it was really nice, but when I look back, I just think like, I was 17, like what business did I have getting flowers at school,
Pretty ballsy.
Yeah,
to be fair, because we know why.
Yeah. But some other surprises that people have done in relationships.
Yeah.
These are quite funny. One of them's mine. One of our listeners said, dress up in my underwear.
Wow.
Her partner dressed up in her underwear.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wish we had some more context around like, did she just walk in and he was in her underwear, or,
I thought that one was he asked her to dress up in her underwear.
No. Well, so
I read that completely wrong.
We asked, what's the most shocking thing that your partner has done in your relationship? And her answer was, dressed up in my underwear.
Wow.
Yeah. I would love to know more about that.
So would I, yeah. Listener, if you wanna expand on that story, we'll share it in the next episode.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to submit one of my own because I thought this was quite funny. But one of my partners wet the bed with me in it. Like, not just a little bit, like a lot. like like a few times. It's mean because...
Did he have a medical issue before we laugh?
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
I believe so. But like, I didn't know until I just woke up one night.
Oh, I feel a bit ill. Oh no.
There's something very shocking there has to be said about being woken up by like the sheet being pulled from underneath you.
Wait, so it happened, then he got up and took the sheet off?
Yeah, as in like was gonna change the sheet.
In the middle of the night?
Well, I mean, I was lying in his piss, so yes, I'm quite glad that he was doing that.
Did you have a mattress protector on?
Yeah. Honey, it was my bed. That thing was layered up. No, yeah, it was my uni bed, so, but that thing was like layered up. There was like several mattress protectors. Uni beds are gross.
Was it because he was drunk, or?
I think so. I can't really remember. I think it was just something that happened sometimes.
Oh, I feel really bad, but it's kind of funny.
Sorry, no, don't feel bad. He's an arse, but...
Oh, right. Oh, we don't like him? Oh, okay.
No, we don't. But yeah, out of the most, there were some shocking things that my ex-boyfriends have done, but that was probably the most comically surprising one.
What did you say? What did he say?
Surprisingly, they don't really want to have an open conversation about it much. Usually they don't want to talk about it.
But did he apologise?
Yeah.
And what did you say? It's fine, don't worry.
I mean, I was, deep in the relationship at that point, so I was like, it's okay, don't worry.
Wow.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, that's surprising. I think I would definitely be surprised. It never really occurred to me that could happen, and now I feel a bit sort of, I must be careful about who comes in my bed.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say I've ever wet the bed, so...
I really don't think I have.
So, interesting experience being on the...
Receiving end.
Oh my God. But I just feel like, I don't know, I think this episode has just shown there are people can surprise you sometimes. They can be a thief or wear your underwear
Or
or
you can surprise yourself and be spontaneous for once in your life.
yeah, like
There
giving
are
your number to a
surprises.
waiter or meeting up with a guy at 10 p.m. at night.
Exactly.
Wild.
Exactly. Wild times.
Okay. Kits, do you have a pet peeve?
Oh, I was just about to go straight into it. I do have a pet peeve.
Okay, sing your jingle.
Du-du-du-du. Pet peeve. That was a
Love
good
it.
one. Okay, so my pet peeve this week, and this comes from a good place, okay, but it's slightly beginning to get to me. I'm not sure why in particular, but it just slightly is. And I just want to emphasize, I am really happy for these people, genuinely happy. It's an amazing thing, but I've now seen enough of it. And this is pregnant people on Instagram.
Oh.
Okay, I'm really happy for you. It genuinely, it is amazing. But I now feel like I've seen so many pregnant bellies over the previous
Mm-hmm.
year that it's actually making me feel a little bit.
So many lockdown babies.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
know
a
what's
baby
gotten
boom.
into everyone, but it's also like, were you planning to have a baby beforehand or did you just get into lockdown and then
I think it just happens.
I was quite surprised, but look, this is going to sound quite harsh coming from a single childless woman,
Yeah.
but you know how people have a baby and then it's like their whole personality, which sounds stupid
Yeah.
because having a baby is obviously a massive change and it is literally your whole life. But there's a lot of influencers that I followed beforehand, and now it's just like, oh, she didn't have milk overnight, or oh, he slept from this time to this time. And I'm like, this isn't my kid. I respectfully don't really care.
Well, and also like every paid ad is now like a new pram or like diapers. And it's like, what did you do before?
Yeah.
What was your personality before this? What were you doing paid ads for then? Because why is it now all baby stuff?
Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be a day if we have, I mean, you definitely will, if I do by some miracle have babies, like we'll be like, oh, now I see what they meant. Your whole life really is about this kid. But I
But
just
like,
think just because yours is doesn't mean mine
yeah.
now needs to be. So like respectfully, I'm not interested. And yes, I could just unfollow them or not watch their stories, but I don't know. There's,
But like it's like every single post, every single day is
yeah.
about them being pregnant or with the baby. Like these people dancing with their pregnant stomachs is genuinely beginning to make me feel ill. Like I just don't want to see any more little brown things coming out of people's bodies. Like
I mean,
before, I used to be so pro it and couldn't wait
yeah,
to be pregnant. And now I'm like, the thought of something protruding out of my stomach is really making me feel ill.
yeah. I mean, look, pregnancy and motherhood is a beautiful thing. I just don't, I just think as well, like, it's people, certain people now use Instagram as like a diary, a personal diary.
Yeah.
And so it's quite, so when my mum had like me and my brother, she like wrote out, she made a note of, I don't know if this is what you're meant to do, if everyone does it, or if my mum is just like a loves notebooks, but she would write down like how long we slept for, what milk we
Oh,
had at what time, and like she would keep track of it all because you're meant to like understand your
yeah.
baby's like patterns and how it grows. But some people just seem to be doing that via Instagram stories.
Yeah.
And I think, no, you can just write it down and not post it where everyone's going to see it because I
Yeah.
don't need a running commentary of how much milk your baby just drank, what hours it slept for, what it looks like today,
How
what it's
tired you are.
wearing, how
Like,
tired you are, like how you had 4.5 minutes to eat your breakfast and then the baby started making this specific
you
noise. Like
you haven't washed your hair in a week. You still haven't changed clothes for the last 2 weeks. Like, I
can
don't
you
care.
imagine if like normal people posted like that though? Like if
I
you
know.
posted like woke up hungover, slept from 2:30 to 9
Oh my
a.m.
God, honestly,
I've
it was
just been
just
sick. I haven't washed my hair in 2 days. Like, can you imagine if we
yeah, the
all
morning sickness pictures where they're like over the toilet bowl. I'm like, what?
please just keep up the illusion that it's all like rainbow and sunshine so that more of us will want to have kids when we're older because at the moment you have fully put me off.
Really being put off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I must admit, like it's really like making me feel very uneasy, the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Isn't
Oh,
great for human population, but
yeah.
never mind.
Anyways,
Anyway, sorry, that's my rant of the week.
no, that's very valid. Your pet peeves are always there. That's why they're your pet peeve.
Should I just do the jingle again?
Again,
No, okay.
I mean, you can if you want, but why, you know?
Pet peeve.
Guys, should we get a more professional pet peeve?
No!
Do you think?
How dare you?
Maybe that could... Okay, fine. So even like when we're on our 7th series and we're like married, you want to...
This is the core of the Dumping podcast.
Okay.
This pet peeve jingle.
Okay.
This is us. This is our brand.
So if we were to get like a professional sounding one, we'd be selling out.
We would lose everything. It wouldn't be us anymore. It wouldn't be the Dumping podcast pet peeve.
You guys aren't authentic anymore. Okay, fine. We could keep singing that, no matter what happens.
This is me. This is what I'll go down in history for. The pet peeve jingle.
Yeah.
Look, all our guests love it.
Yeah, they're very polite. They take it very well.
I think they're just so shocked all the time.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for joining us this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We have a couple of guests joining us next week, and this is incredibly exciting. I don't want to say too much, but you guys won't want to miss it if you're fans of TV.
Reality TV.
You will enjoy this episode, and it is a really good one, and offers an insight and shows you the other side of some people that you might not be used to seeing on your screens. So it's going to be a really good one. So make sure you're back here next Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all podcast platforms, and also our YouTube if you want to see them in person, visually. Don't know where I was going with that. As always, you can find us pretty much everywhere, The Dumping Podcast, at The Dumping Podcast on Instagram. We have an email, we have a website. You know the drill already, guys. I don't have to repeat it.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to submit a pet peeve or a dilemma...
We've not had dilemmas in ages.
Yeah, we'd love a dilemma. If anyone's got anything you need solving...
Bring some dilemmas.
Yeah, we will answer them anonymously and give you our best unprofessional... untrained advice, and if you have any discussion topics that you want to hear us talk about, you can just hit us up with those as well, and we will
we'll talk about anything,
debate them. So yeah, thanks. Namaste. Yeah, indeed. She's feeling very zen this morning for someone who had quite a late night and is a bit hungover.
Yeah, I'm gonna crash soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before you crash, let's get off. Let's let the listeners have their week.
Bye everyone.